Yeah, it's about that time. Hey sis, we're in a really weird time of year where the holiday releases are over and the spring and summer releases are just starting to pick up. So now is a perfect time to talk myself out of buying everything. I am currently on a no-buy, which is a really easy way to also include in this anti-haul products that I actually do kind of want to buy, but won't buy because I'm on a no-buy. What I have been spending most of my money on is something a bit different. And I have a new obsession. I've been buying a whole lot of materials to make slime with, and that's kind of what I've been doing. I haven't been browsing Sephora, I've been browsing Michael's. I want to give a quick shout out to the homie Angelica Nickvis, whose merch I'm wearing right now. All right, let's get opinionated. Let's start this off with an easy one. Tatcha, everyone's favorite very expensive influencer pushed skincare brand, is coming out with a lipstick. One lipstick. It's this very nice, semi-universally flattering sort of pink red. It's a beautiful shade and beautiful packaging. Do you know how much this lipstick costs? 55 USD. I don't need to spend a ton of time explaining why neither you nor I need to purchase a $55 lipstick, but it's kind of the same concept as the Milk Makeup and Wu-Tang Clan collection from a couple months ago. There is no universe, Earth 2, Earth 50, whatever, in which any living person needs a $50 lipstick. Buying that hurts. It hurts you physically, you know? It's sort of like, oof. It's like that. It's very similar. Tatcha, no one needs this. It's beautiful. Everything you make is beautiful. Your water cream is fantastic. Every time I go into a Sephora, I make a beeline for the dewy skin mist and I spritz it all over my face and I feel like a fresh-faced LA influencer on my way to Zumba. It's great. This, you don't ever need a $55 lipstick. That's that on that. Keesha Ka'oir has had a makeup line for quite a while. I remember when I was a sophomore in college in like 2013, she put out a line of lipsticks and I really wanted to buy one because I wanted to support a brand that was owned by a Black woman, but I also was not at a point in my makeup mentality where I could justify spending like $16 on one single lipstick, so I just kind of let the idea fade away. And so I saw on Trendmood the other day that she was putting out this eyeshadow palette, which to my knowledge is the first eyeshadow palette her brand has put out. And it's large, it's very neutral, it's shaped like a K for Keesha and for Ka'oir. And it's how much, Miss Trendmood? Ah yes, $59. I saw some people getting miffed in the comments of this Trendmood post about how like, oh, it's gonna be so hard to store. Why would she do this? Why would she betray us in such a way? But it's like, it's still a flat palette, you know? You can still stack it with other palettes. There's nothing about this that really makes it that difficult to store. Having said this, my issue with it still does kind of relate to its shape a little bit. I think that this doesn't need to be $59. It's very much a neutral palette, and it's very likely that if you are a woman of color, you probably have darker neutrals like this in your collection already. And if you don't, I don't think this is a color family you need to pay 60 bucks for. The reason why this is so expensive is because, one, Keesha Ka'oir's makeup brand is, I guess, an indie brand in a certain capacity. She herself is quite wealthy, but it's not like you can walk into a Sephora or Ulta and find her makeup. And two, you know what costs extra to die cut that palette in a K? You know if that was a square, it would not be $59. I just feel like if you're in the market for this color family, this is not the best route to get it. I feel like I'm leaving her destitute. I feel so bad. Sorry, Keesha. I guess you're just gonna have to go back to being beautiful and young and married to Gucci Mane. The next thing I want to talk about is these IT Cosmetics gemstone brushes at Ulta. They're these large face brushes that come paired with like a crystal gemstone bracelet, and each of these duos is $35. I'm not saying it looks cheap. I'm just saying you don't need this. In my opinion, and that's all that this is, it's my opinion. This is IT Cosmetics trying to capitalize off of the recent popularity of like spirituality and crystals that has sort of popped up over the past 3 or 4 years on the internet. Hello, sir. I think that this is super transparent. $35 for one brush and a bracelet that you might not even wear. I will say this though, once these inevitably get marked down, they'd be really cute gifts. Picking up all 3 for Christmas. That's all my shopping for my stepsisters.
Ring, ring.
Oh, excuse me.
Ring,
I'm so
ring.
sorry. Hello? Oh, really? Okay, I'll tell them. That was Chief. She said this is not it. Cosmetics. Got him! I have a lot of friends who have crystals and they charge them on their windowsills and whatnot. And of course I have no qualms with that. But I feel like this is not like a true way to do that. It feels sort of like a cheap imitation of that. If that's actually part of your personal philosophy and belief system, then you wouldn't be buying this. Unless you were, I don't know, it's not mine. There could be, you know, a crystal binge watching this right now who's like, frick you, I'm buying all 3 and I'm putting them on my windowsill. I could be wrong. I'm wrong so often. Guys, I'm super excited for the next one. Our Lord and Savior, Jeffree Star, has finally released his long-awaited brush collaboration with AliExpress. I mean Morphe. Moving on. Okay, this next one got to me. Wet n Wild is releasing yet another limited edition collection. This one is called the Rebel Rose, and I believe it's dropping February 12th, which is very soon. I feel like Wet n Wild has recently joined the club of brands that release things way too quickly. Right up alongside our good sis ColourPop, but people don't really call out Wet n Wild for doing that because they're so inexpensive and accessible, and so is ColourPop. And people are not shy about being like, hey ColourPop, color stop, you know? But Wet n Wild is even more accessible than ColourPop. For ColourPop, you have to order it online or you have to go into an Ulta that sells it. But with Wet n Wild, you can walk into any Target or CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart, or anywhere you buy your drugstores. And it's there, and you can buy 6 products and you've only spent 20 bucks. And it's dangerous because it really easily contributes to way over purchasing makeup. It can become an overspending issue, especially if you are the type of person who buys entire Wet n Wild collections online. Even if you're not worried about the money aspect of it, which like for me, I'm lucky enough that buying a good amount of Wet n Wild products is not like a financial burden on me, but it does bring in makeup that I don't need to my collection. It does, you know, add clutter to my space. So it's really important for me when I hear people making videos like anti-hauls to bring up stuff like this and not just bring up high-end makeup. Okay, and these are all cold takes. Kimberly Clark has said this 1,000 different ways better. God, I miss her so much. In my opinion, in terms of risk of overconsumption of makeup, drugstore brands are way more dangerous than high-end makeup. With high-end makeup, you have to make a point to like go to Sephora or go to Ulta or go to their website. But with drugstore brands, I mean, my goodness, I walked into my CVS the other day to buy what I always buy at CVS, which is 6 bottles of vanilla soylent and more glue for my slime. And I walked past the Wet n Wild display and the Milani display, they're right next to each other in my CVS, and it was like a magnet. Like I was just like, oh look. Oh, look. Also, the way my CVS is structured is the very first thing you see when you walk in is the LA Girl display, and then also that display that has all the new makeup from all the brands, and it's just like, oh man, there's some goodies in there, I frickin' know it. CVS it's like Minecraft. Minecraft? Minefield. Minesweeper. Now, to actually talk about what's in the collection, I think this is quite pretty. I think these quads, especially this green one down here in the center, are really cute. These brushes are goofy as hell. I don't like those brushes. I don't like quirky brushes. You know, I'm just not a fan of that. Even after my no-buy, I gotta be careful with this stuff, because like I said, it's easy to just grab a fistful of Wet n Wild stuff and be like, this is fine. When you go to the drugstore, when you go pick up your pads and your tampies and your soylents and your glue, maybe get in the habit of not letting yourself go down the makeup aisle. You gotta be careful. You gotta control yourself. You gotta control the amount you're bringing into your collection. We all know this. Like I said, cold takes, ice cold, icicle takes, February takes. Burr. Well kids, in today's episode of all the ways in which Robin Rihanna Fenty wants Nisa Nisi Pisa personally dead, we have this picture of some new releases from Fenty Beauty, which is basically this channel's version of Voldemort. Listen, I love Rihanna. I was literally seconds ago scream singing Take a Bow. My neighbors can square up if they want to. I will never stop. It's either I don't like it or I don't need it or there's something standing in my way of actually buying something from Fenty. As it stands right now, the only product of theirs I have is the Ginger Binge and Moscow Mule Killawatt, which I'm actually wearing on my cheeks right now. This right here, this new, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Actually, one of my only criticisms of this particular product is that the highlighter side is a bit dark for my skin. This side that's less sparkly makes an absolute perfect luminous blush, which is how I'm wearing it right now. But the actual highlighter is ever so slightly too dark to pass as a highlighter on me. It's a little bit too much. For just like a dusting on the cheekbones, you get a glow, but you also get a lot of pigmentation. The liquid lipsticks I'm kind of neutral on. If I were going to get one of the Fenty liquid lipsticks, I would get the original uncensored red one. I'm not a huge liquid lipstick person. I think based on me making a whole documentary about lip gloss a little while ago, you could probably gather that. But like that Killawatt is really what has like captured my heart. I realize this is an anti-haul and I need to be anti-hauling it. I'm gonna be real with y'all. The only reason it's in this video is because I can't buy it right now because I'm on a no buy. Also, I have not forgotten about the Beauty Bakery highlighter palette I talked about in a recent video. That's still on there. I haven't figured out which one of those is getting added to my life at the murky date in the future where I buy more pink highlighters that I haven't actually figured out when that's gonna be yet. Either that or this Fenty one. But know that I think they're both beautiful and I'm not buying either of them right now. Okay? Okay. It's an anti-haul. I'm me, so naturally, let's just get it out of the way. Too Faced, what's going on? I recently was accosted by Too Faced's Pretty Mess collaboration collection with Erika Jayne, who is a housewife of some variety. What the hell is this? I love Too Faced. You're really out here. You're really out here. This palette! The orientation of these pans is just ridiculous. It doesn't look good. Nobody thinks this looks good. And that's why brands don't do it very often. And here we are, because Jared Blandino follows no laws set by human beings. The shades in this palette are pretty. You know, rosy tones are in. They've been in for about 1.5 years at this point. My perspective on whether or not anybody needs this palette is the same as it is with almost every single collaboration palette. If you live for Erika Jayne, buy the palette, you know? Anyone else, if you just want some blush neutrals, I think there are other ways to get that into your life. I know for a fact ColourPop has been killing it with like pink and purple shadows recently in their palettes. There are other options. There's also another product in this launch that I would like to talk about for a second. This body powder called the Pat the Puss powder. The Pat the Puss powder. The Pat the Puss powder packs a pretty punch of pigmentation. This is like Glow Job 2.0. I can't imagine just like going to a Sephora and picking this up and seriously going to the register and putting down the Too Faced and Erika Jayne Pat the Puss powder and being like, yes, I would like to pay money for this, please. This product is so goofy that, you know how like sex toy companies will send you your package in like a nondescript box so none of your neighbors can tell what filth you've ordered for yourself? They don't even put the Sephora logo on it. They're like, we don't want people to know that you got this from us. I said the Pat the That's so good. I want to buy it just to have it. I want to buy this and like wear it on a date and they're like, you know, kissing all up on my neck or whatever people do on dates. And they're like, oh my God, your skin tastes so good. What are you wearing? And I'm like, oh, that? Babe, that's just my Pat the Puss powder. The next second they're like, yo, Uber outside. That's, what would we do without Too Faced, man? Oh my God, Pat the Puss. You're part of a bit with me. He's a pussycat. Before we go further, I would like to address the fact that the theme of the latter half of this anti-haul is too little, too late. Alexa! I'm just kidding. I don't have an Alexa. I don't want any more surveillance in my home than I already have. I've talked about this before, but I have beef with Benefit. One, because they're not cruelty-free, and I really, really love their Hello Flawless foundation powder, and I want to buy it again, but I can't, so that's upsetting. But also because they had this cult product, the Hoola bronzer. Everyone loved it. They had offshoot products, liquid bronzer, whatever, its own special little brush. It's a phenomenon. Then a couple years ago, like maybe 2016, 2017, this happened. They came out with the Hoola Light, a lighter version of the Hoola bronzer for people who have fairer skin tones or maybe want a less intense bronze. That's great. Smart move, love that. And then you'd think, as you scroll down that post, oh, so there's gonna be a Hoola Deep, right? For people of darker skin tones who wanna wear bronzer as well because they exist. Just for reference, I'm not an incredibly dark skinned person and the Hoola bronzer is the same shade as my skin. No. No, they did not do that. And then years went by. And then now we're seeing the Hoola Caramel and the Hoola Toasted. Easily 2 years after the launch of the Hoola Light. Like, how did it take this long?
What's popping, guys? It's your boy, Editing Nisa. I did some research, searched on YouTube, and the earliest video about the Hoola Light was posted by Jen Loves Reviews on February 21st, 2017. That is 2 years. Dose, beach.
I'm at a loss. It's just frustrating because, like, why does shade inclusivity for everybody always have to be an afterthought? Progress is great. I'm not saying that it's not. This is obviously an example of progress. But at a certain point, we're gonna have to stop giving brands cookies for doing the bare minimum and start building up the people that get it right the first time. And we've already started doing that. Like, this bothers me. It's bothered me for a while. Like, I just don't understand how it took this long.
Like, it's a bronzer. How do you not arrive at the conclusion of let's release a variance of shades when you immediately sit down to make it? Like, wait.
I have two things from Tarte that I want to chit chat about. The first one is the Face Tape foundation, which is a foundation range from Tarte that has 50 shades.
Wow.
You know what's really sad? If this had happened last year, they wouldn't have had to do it this year. The whole marketing of this kind of confused me because it's, you asked, we listened. Here's a different foundation. Oh my God, it took them a whole year to figure this out. Like, what? A whole year in which they were releasing other products, a whole year in which they were touting the Shape Tape foundation as the best-selling product they'd ever made, days after the whole thing blew up in their faces on social media. It's a good thing that Tarte is making a range of 50 foundations with 5 undertones. I don't doubt that Tarte can make a good foundation. I'm just floored that it took this long. I'm obviously not gonna buy this. I'm not thrilled with Tarte, but I'm not necessarily boycotting Tarte. I just haven't purchased anything from them in the past year or so. Partially because of the Shape Tape stuff, and also because I'm just not super invested in anything Tarte's come out with recently, and I don't wear foundation, so. But this was only part of what I wanted to talk about with Tarte. The other thing is something I saw a couple days before I heard about the new foundation, which, by the way, it's so funny that they've renamed it Face Tape because even Trend Mood got it wrong in her caption. She wrote, Tarte is introducing their new hashtag Shape Tape foundation. And it doesn't say anywhere in the caption that it's actually called the Face Tape. We're just like, it's just weird that it's a different name. But anyway, I was just innocently scrolling down Instagram on January 31st and I saw this. It's 2 little sets. They're each $24. Is this funnier than the Pat the Puss powder? I think Too Faced might have them on that one, but bruh. Firstly, we have the Wine Not Cabernet Sauvignon at noon. Why not? Why not lip gloss and brush set? Wine inspired red tinted gloss and a large fluffy complexion brush for blending powder and cream foundation. This cumbersome top heavy looking ass brush and this red tinted lip gloss that, I'm gonna be real with you, I would probably love. And then the other thing, this is the best thing I've ever seen. The Rosé is Bay lip gloss and this brush that is shaped like a champagne flute, my dude. This is especially fun for me because I have a running gag with my best friend Ava where whenever I'm out in public and I see stupid wine themed paraphernalia like this, I'll always text it to her. So like whenever we're at Target and we go by a rack of shirts and one of them says, Frosé all day, rosé vacay. Don't talk to me before I've had my rosé. What time is it? Wine 30, rosé o'clock. Nama go, no, namaste, and drink my rosé frosé latte on this vacay all day Sunday fun day. I don't like stuff that contributes to like drinking being a personality trait. I don't love that. But also, oh my God, it's so perfect. You know, of course Tarte would put out a product like this. It's just them personified, distilled into one product. It's so perfect. It's so Barbara. Let's check in on those kooky gals, shall we? You guys, guys. Wasn't our meeting supposed to start 45 minutes ago? Where's Barbara P? I don't know, but it's completely unprofessional of her to be this late. I mean, I have to pick up my children yerba, spruce, and dagwood from organic basket weaving in approximately 35 minutes, and I cannot be late. Barbara J, you're her assistant. Do you have any idea where our fearless leader, Barbara P, is? Okay, Barbara, I would just like to reiterate the fact that we are all co-workers in this space. All of our energies and auras coexist to make Tarte the absolute best and most exclusive makeup brand this side of Lafayette. So I really don't appreciate that tone that you took with me. But if you all must know, Barbara P is going through a bit of a rough time right now. She's really taken all the criticism that Tarte Cosmetics has gotten recently from, you know, brown people to heart, and she's very upset. Oh, I just got a private Instagram message from her. It looks like she's underneath stairwell B. Barbara P, what are you doing down here? That crust doesn't look artisanal. Is that even gluten-free? That cheese better be vegan.
It's not fair. I worked so hard to make Tarte inclusive for at least 2 shades of people. Everybody still hates me. And people are saying that it's too little too late. When do they expect of me to put out an inclusive range of foundation the first time? Why don't they think about the kind of life that I live as the CEO of Tarte Cosmetics? The only brown I know of is the brownstone that I own in the Upper East Side.
Why don't you come out to my office? I've had a bottle of rosé in there waiting for you all day.
What did you say?
I said, why don't you unwind with a glass of rosé?
Say that again.
I said I've had rosé all day.
I've got it.
If that made absolutely no sense to you, there's a solid chance you're new to my channel. The Barbaras are my imagining of what Tarte's boardroom is like. So that was everything I wanted to talk about in this here anti-haul. Before you leave, I'm gonna need you to do a quick favor for me. If you could go ahead and have an amazing day for me, that would be bae all day, rosé for rosé latte vacay. Namaste. If you would like to engage with me betwixt uploads, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at NisiPisa, and I have a second channel called Extra NisiPisa that I will link in the description where I post music and covers.
Thanks again for watching, guys, and don't forget to use code NisiPisa for 10% off at checkout at your local rosé store. Bye, guys.
Oh yeah, this is my final form.